The views and opinions expressed by the speaker, host, commentator, or other third party in Ariva webinars, e-learning events, and/or virtual masterclass are those of the speaker, host, commentator, or third party and do not necessarily reflect and represent the views and opinions of Ariva. Furthermore, Ariva does not warrant, express, or imply the merchantability and fitness for a particular purpose of any product information, service, or process presented by the speaker, host, commentator, or third party, and Ariva specifically disclaims any legal liability or responsibility for the accuracy, completeness, or usefulness of any product information, service, or process presented. Finally, material or information presentation, opinion, process, or service by on any trade name, trademark, manufacturer, or otherwise during Ariva webinars, e-learning events, and/or virtual masterclass do not constitute or imply Ariva's endorsement or recommendation of such opinion, process, service, item, or organization.
And we are live. Good morning, everyone. Good morning to our participants. Welcome to another free e-learning session brought to you by Ariva Academy. My name is Irish Malanda Samson, and I will be joined by one of our Ariva partner speakers, TV host and leadership speaker, Mr. Howell Mabalat, as our moderator. Good morning, Sir Howell.
Good morning, Madam President. You always look beautiful. J-Lo, yes?
Thank you so much, Sir Howell. So let's welcome them to our virtual business mentoring. This is a three-part series. And our first part is Business Rescue Project, Opportunity to Reinvent, Startup Mentor Me. This is the part one, Opportunity to Reinvent Yourself, Mindset Realizations during COVID-19, and SWOT Analysis. And of course, before I introduce our speaker, I would like first to acknowledge our participants who are joining us right now, and they are from out of the country. They're watching from Jeddah, Saudi Arabia, Singapore, Malacca, Malaysia, Jakarta, New Delhi, Bangkok, Dubai, and Sharjah, United Arab Emirates. Good morning to every one of you. And of course, let's check, Sir Howell, if the participants are ready. Please type in Ariva in the chat box now. Let me know if you're ready so we can start. Please type in Ariva in the chat box now. I think Sir Cromwell, I told you, Sir Howell, Sir Cromwell is with us today. Thank you for joining. Hi, Ms. Lynn, Catherine, and Neil. Hello po, Ariva. Okay, thank you so much. And of course, in order for us to have a smooth flow of our e-learning session, here are the following reminders and house rules. Who are first-time viewers of our webinar, please type in hi in the chat box now. If this is your second time, third time, and time of watching Ariva webinars, please type hello in the chat box. Okay, let's check. Hi, Ms. Eunice. And of course, Sir Cromwell, good morning. Okay, hi, Karen. Welcome to Ariva webinar. Of course, Ms. Linda Luna. This is, I think, second time or third time, Ms. Lynn. Okay, welcome as well. And of course, let's do an audio check. Please use the following codes. Please type in 111 to show if you can hear me loud and clear. I am audible. Okay, 111. Thank you, Ms. Sharon. Thank you so much. Type in 222 if you cannot hear me. No sound at all. 2121 means the sound is breaking up or there's a log, and question mark if you don't understand anything. Hi, Ms. Myra. Welcome po. Good morning. Okay, moving on. We will be having a quick break later after the presentation of our speaker and before we move on to Q&A portion. Participants' microphones will be temporarily disabled by the administrator during discussion to avoid interruptions. For questions and clarifications during the provided time after each topic, please click the raise hand button. For the administrator to enable the microphone for live questions, we will entertain live questions from our Zoom participants at the Q&A portion. Okay, questions will be entertained after each topic of the session. Type in your questions at the Q&A box. Again, at the Q&A box, one question at a time will be entertained. For comments and feedback, please scan this QR code. This will be directed to our feedback form. Please send us your comments, suggestions, suggested topics to discuss in order for us to improve our future e-learning sessions. And now, Mr. Howell Mabalot, please do the honors in introducing our speaker today.
Thank you, Ms. Irish Malonda Samson, our beautiful and smart and hardworking president, for the privilege that you have given me to introduce our speaker for today. Born in India, Vishnu completed his college and traveled to Australia to finish his IT degree. As a 20-year-old, Vishnu began his career in door-to-door selling and started his first business at the age of 22 in Canberra, Australia. As a young and ambitious business owner, he expanded his business to Malaysia and then to the Philippines. Currently, Vishnu, as a senior partner, works with 25 business owners and his organization with 500 plus sales force. And this year, August, he is expanding his business in India. Welcome back, Coach Vishnu Annapareddy. Coach Vishnu Annapareddy, welcome back. Nice to see you again.
Thank you, Mr. Howell. Always pleasure to have you introduce me. It always feels good, right? Whenever I hear you introduce me, and I'm like, yeah, it's me. Because I still remember the days.
It is a pleasure to have you again, Sir Vishnu.
Thank you. The honor is mine. And thank you, Irish. And also thank you to Ariva Academy for giving this opportunity for me to share some of my insights and what we have been working on especially for the last 3 to 4 months through this pandemic, and also trying to overcome this pandemic in some of the countries that we are running our businesses and stuff. Okay. So shall I start?
Yes, Sir Vishnu. But before that, can I just tell you that this is the first day of a stricter quarantine measures for us in the Philippines being implemented by the government.
Correct. So I came to know this. I have businesses in Philippines. I have guys in Cebu, Pampanga, Davao, and Makati, and it's unfortunate that you guys went back to MECQ.
Yes.
But it is what it is necessary, right? As a country at this time, based on the frontliners appeal, and it is what it is. We got to do what we got to do in order to protect the people. It's interesting, right?
Which is why.
Sorry,
sir. Which is why your topic for today is very relevant as of this moment.
Got it. Again, I did not plan for this, but it happened to be a coincidence. The reason this topic for me is really important is if you want to save any country's economy, we got to save the businesses and we got to save people's jobs. And when I was working through this topic a month ago, when I started this presentation, and I have my notes with me, at that time, the latest statistics of this COVID-19 pandemic was around 11.4 million cases across the globe. And now, as I'm presenting this today, within 4 weeks, the latest number as of this morning is over 18 million positive cases across the globe, and more than 500,000 unfortunate deaths. So I was thinking about the whole idea behind this topic was it's a 3-part series for everyone. We wanted to rescue the business.
Yes.
And business comprises of people. And we were thinking about post-pandemic, this post-COVID-19, how we want to rescue the business is coming back to rescuing the people in the business. And how we're going to rescue the people in the business comes down to rescuing the leader of the business, because the leader provides direction, the leader provides the necessary guidance, advice. So we divided this into a 3-part series. The first part is on today, which is about how to reinvent yourself post this pandemic in order to be prepared to run a better business and provide better advice and direction for your people. And the second part will be on 11th of August. How do you reinvent when you once you as a leader has successfully reinvented yourself? How do you reinvent your people in your business? And the third part would be, how do you reinvent your business model? Just looking at how other businesses are reacting and also future-proofing themselves for future pandemics and things like that. So that's how this topic came about, and I expressed my interest to Sir JM, and now it's becoming a reality today.
And
so today we have a lot of things.
I believe that your thoughts, your wisdom would be heaven sent for all of us.
Yeah.
And we would like to resuscitate, if not rescue, not only projects, but businesses here in the Philippines. So take it away, Sir Vishnu.
Thank you. Thank you very much. As everyone is talking about COVID-19, I know the cases in Philippines recently have raised significantly high per day. It's around 5,000 per day. And when I see these numbers, I feel a bit sad, but at the same time, I also appreciate that there's lots of testing that's going on. The recovery rate is fantastic in Philippines. And also, we just opened up our business in India in March, and now we are trying to get that business going on the ground from next week. And yesterday, the whole country had the highest number of cases in a day. And the number in India is 52,000 positive cases in one single day.
That's alarming.
It's really alarming. And I was just sharing this with Ms. Irish this morning, that it's interesting how different countries are reacting to the same challenge in a different way. So for example, you see India, 52,000 cases a day. Yesterday, the latest statistics, 65% recovery rate on a day-to-day basis, what we see. And the interesting part is domestic travel is open. So you can take a flight anywhere in India domestically. Second, all the businesses are open, business as usual. There is no restriction on any businesses being closed down until unless they fall under the red zone and things like that. The point that we want to take from here is there is no one way of solving a challenge. There can be multiple ways, there can be multiple perspectives. And no matter what the perspective each country / government is applying, the common thing that I see in all the countries is everyone is racing for the vaccine. India took a step forward. They already have the medicine, not yet the vaccine, but now they are working very hard to get the vaccine out. And I hope the cases would come down in India. I hope the cases will come down in Philippines. I think it's just a matter of time. I hope more and more people will stay at home, follow the guidelines, strict guidelines that are implemented by the government in this MECQ, and we make sure not only we are keeping ourselves safe, we are keeping our family members and fellow country citizens safe. Now, Ariva is doing a fantastic job because they're trying to keep you busy wherever you are, not trying to ask you to go out, but trying to keep you busy while you're at home and also helping you to be very productive. And today is one of those steps to make your day very productive. So I'm going to share the content. Give me a second. Okay, so the topic that we are working on today and I want to share is called reinventing yourself. You can be an employee, you can be a business owner, you can be a father, mother, housewife, brother, doesn't matter. With the amount of rapid change that's happening all around us, we got to constantly look at ourselves and we got to reinvent ourselves. And today I'm going to share some ideas with all of you how you can reinvent yourself. So these are our learning objectives today. We kept it very simple, but it's going to be action-packed. So we're going to talk a bit about mindset. That's going to help us to reinvent ourselves. We're going to talk about after-action review. It's a very famous SOP that US soldiers follow, even till date. Every time they do a mission, they have an after-action review meeting. And we will talk about it, how we can use this in this context every time we have tried something new and how we can review it in a better way. Third, we'll talk about 4 types of reflection. This is my favorite part. Fourth one is windows and mirror. We need more leaders who understand the concept about windows and mirror, and just a bit of final words on what great leadership looks like, especially during these tough times. So these are our learning objectives for
Wonderful.
today. So this is a very interesting quote that I came across, and this is by a guy called Soren. I can't unfortunately pronounce his family name. It's really, really hard. I'll try. It's Kierkegaard. Kierkegaard, probably, but his first name is Soren. And he's fantastic. And I went through some of his work, and I really like this quote where he says, life can only be understood backwards, but it must be lived forwards. When I look back on 2019, now when I look back at 2019, I feel so blessed that I had a year like 2019. But when I was in 2019, I complained about a lot of things. I complained about traffic. I complained about the challenges I was facing. At something like 2019 that's happening in 2020. So life can only be understood backwards. Steve Jobs said this in a brilliant way, that it's easy to connect the dots looking backwards. It's really hard to connect the dots looking forward. So life can only be understood backwards from our experiences, from our reviews, from our reflection, but we all need to live forwards. We all need to move forwards. We all need to bounce forward. And in order to bounce forward and get world-class results, we need to change with the times. We need to take this opportunity to reinvent ourselves in the way we lead our people, in the way we are building our businesses, and in the way we can help the country to recover and overcome challenges like this. So life can only be understood backwards, but it must be lived forwards. I took this personal mission called Road to Recovery. I write a lot of articles. I post a lot of Instagram posts on this because I believe that we can recover from this pandemic. We can recover as a business. We can recover as a family. We can recover as an individual. And we also can recover as a community and as a country. So I'm doing my bit to write down articles, come on talks like this, and share whatever I have picked up from successful people, whatever me and my team we are working on, because I believe as long as we are reinventing ourselves, not only we can repair, but we can recover from the challenges that we are experiencing. And I know Filipinos, more than any other people at this point in Southeast Asia, are in a bit tough situation because MECQ is back. But I want to promise you that if you can start reinventing yourself, you're on the road to recovery. So let's start. One of the things that I learned in business very early, I started my business when I was 22 years old as a fresh graduate. I used my money that I did sales to start my business. And one of the first things I learned was to have a positive attitude. Because if you have a positive attitude, I was educated that your behavior will be positive. And if you have a positive behavior, you will generally put through positive actions, which generally gives you positive results, and you will have a positive impact on your performance. The root for attitude is your mindset. Now, especially challenging times like this, pandemic times like this, COVID-19 times like this, the question I have for all of you, and if you can type in one or two words, what sort of mindset as a leader you should have in order to not only just bounce back, but actually to bounce forward and bring your people through with you. What is the mindset that you think we should have, you should have, we all should have, so that we can overcome this challenge and come out on the other side of this tunnel? Put it in your answers, one or two words here. I don't want a brief, I don't want description and stuff. What should be our mindset? Resilience and agile mindset, great, agree. What else? Grit, absolutely, yes. Let's look at a couple of more mindsets. What do you think we should have? Absolutely correct answers, on the right track. Resilience, agile, great. What else? Okay, decisive, determined, absolutely. Growth mindset, proactive. All these are correct. From the coaches and the mentors that I work with, I have picked up some of the ideas on this topic, which is mindset, and I have actually applied this creative, can-do attitude, absolutely correct. I have picked up some of the ideas from this and I have actually put into place, and actually they started giving some great results, and I would like to share this with all of you. All of you can have a mindset of failure, a mindset of frustration, conventional success mindset, or a transformative mindset. And this is our choice today. We can wake up every day and think about, you know what, feel sorry for ourselves. We say, my business was doing well, it's so unfair, and be very reactive and show that frustration on family and friends and then co-workers, blame everyone. We can have that mindset. But the point is, can that mindset help us to come out on the other side of this tunnel? And most likely the answer is no. If that's your mindset, it doesn't matter what course you're taking, it doesn't matter what book you're reading, it doesn't matter who you're talking to. If you're feeling sorry for yourself and if you're having a failure mindset. I'll come to the frustration mindset in a while. I'll jump to conventional success mindset. And there are people I interact with. Vishnu, I don't want to change. The pandemic is going to be gone. You see, in Malaysia, we don't have very high numbers of COVID-19 cases. So Vish, I don't want to change to the new reality. I want to go back and do what I used to do because that ensured me success. I want to go back and do what I used to do because A, I don't know anything better. B, I don't want to change. And also, I like that status that I achieved before this, pre-COVID. I like the lifestyle that I achieved. So I'm happy. I don't want to change. And people with conventional success mindset will not make it, especially long term. I'll give you a small example. The cases in Malaysia, as we speak, for example, yesterday, it's 10 cases, 10, and that's it. But social distancing is at the highest level, make sure it's been ensured by the police. If you don't wear a mask in Malaysia, 1,000 ringgit fine. You pay 1,000 ringgit fine, equivalent probably 14,000 pesos, if you don't wear a mask in a public space. Even if you don't wear a mask inside the Grab, you're fined 1,000 ringgit by police. If you're in your own car, you still have to wear your own mask. But I don't want to change. The cases are low now. I don't want to change. With conventional success mindset, it's very hard to bounce forward and take yourself and take your people and take your business to the new heights of success. Now let's come to the frustration mindset. I don't know how to help myself and my people. People who are frustrated feel the pain. They are always anxious. They are hoping for the best, but things don't change as fast as they want things to change. They're dreaming. If you're frustrated, there is a chance for you to be successful and come out of this challenge onto the other side of the tunnel. You're frustrated because you are working towards your goals and you're a bit behind. And that's the right mindset. I have goals by this month, this year, I should have been on X amount of revenue for the company. I am not. I'm frustrated. And that mindset is not bad, because when you're frustrated, then you start coming on to courses like this online, or you start spending time with people who are turning their businesses successfully around, and you start having conversations with people who are making the necessary changes, who are thinking transformatively, and who are taking advantage of the technology to change themselves and to change the businesses. Yes, frustration is normal. And if you have the right tools and if you take the right resources, you can lead to success. So don't worry if you're frustrated. All these trainings, all the tools and resources available online, offline, can help you to get to the goal that you have aimed for. There might be a bit of delay, but that's okay. And then the best group, transformative mindset, always making themselves better. They don't wait for a pandemic to reinvent themselves. There are companies, we are talking about Zoom and doing recruitment through Zoom. We are talking about doing sales through Zoom and sales presentations through Zoom. But there are people, a couple of years ago, have already started doing recruitment through Zoom. They understood the power of internet. They understood the power of technology and platforms like Skype, like Zoom, like Microsoft Teams, and they have already started online training, online recruitment, online sales. Maybe most of us have started having this transformative mindset because of the challenge or a pandemic like this. But a transformative mindset, who are always making themselves better, always looking to self-improve, always think there is abundance of knowledge, abundance of resources, always have a great vision, and are very creative, like you guys said, very innovative in building themselves and in building their businesses. So the best way to overcome this is to have a transformative mindset. And Vish, what if I don't have a transformative mindset? Even if you don't have a transformative mindset, I know for sure you would know people who are thinking along these lines of transformation. Spend time with them. Talk to them once a week. Find out what are they thinking. Find out what are they trying. Find out what are they experimenting. Find out what are the areas they are being creative. And I guarantee over a period of time that rubs on to you. Maybe you're not so creative. That's fine. But you can always borrow the ideas from creatives. So ask yourself, What is my current mindset? Because your mindset dictates your attitude, and your attitude dictates your behavior, dictates the results, dictates the performance. So all that starts with having a transformative mindset. And if you don't have one, that's okay. Hang out with people, speak to people who have transformative mindset. And I hope that's the first step. That's the fundamental step. Having that mindset, having the transformative mindset is the fundamental step to reinvent yourself. Okay, so let's move to the next one. After action review. Again, as I mentioned in the introduction, this is all the US Army, Navy, they all do this AAR review, after action review. So they go into combat, they go into a mission, they finish the mission, they get together and they do an after action review. What I like about this after action review, and we started doing this with some of our offices in Philippines and with some of our offices in Malaysia. What I like about this is it's all about questions, not necessarily giving answers. So here we go. So the first question is, what did we intend to happen? So before we went into the mission, what was our purpose for this mission? What we were expecting to happen, what we wanted to do actually doing this mission. Then the second question is, what actually happened? What are the results? And the third one is, what caused the difference? If there is a difference, what caused the difference? And fourth one is, what are our key takeaways? What can we learn so that we can improve when we are doing a mission like this again? And it's all, this meeting is led through questions. It's not led through, let me tell you what happened. It's not, let me share my experience. No, it starts, you lead this meeting with questions. What did we intend to happen? And if there are 5 people, 6 people, 4 people, who doesn't matter how many people are in that meeting, everyone gets equal time to speak. That's the key. You get equal time to speak. Everyone shares. This was our purpose of this mission. But actually, this is what happened. From my observation, this caused the difference. What did we learn? But the key for this AAR review is for giving opportunity for everyone to speak. And that only happens when you come into this meeting with no titles whatsoever. You can be a CEO, you can be a leader, you can be a team leader, you can just be a team player. Doesn't matter. You cannot bring your titles into this review. And that's why everyone gets the chance to share and to answer each of those 4 questions. And I really like this. We had a mission to start online recruitment because we can't do any more face-to-face recruitment, but we had to grow the business. So what did we intend to happen? We wanted to do 75% of our recruitment through Zoom. That's what we intend to make it happen. What actually happened? We did not achieve the 75%. We only achieved the 50%. What caused the difference? Most of the people I thought were familiar with Zoom, but they did not, they were all familiar with the Zoom platform, but they were not familiar with all the features of Zoom platform. As a result, we thought 5 of us can do interviews through Zoom, but actually only 2 of us were ready to do interviews on Zoom. So what did we learn? Instead of assuming, we had to go through the details. And next time when we are going and using a platform like this, we should have a training session from some of us who are experienced using that platform. We should then use that platform and we should do a couple of trials and then we should apply it. But when we all came together to talk about this, we left our titles outside. When we came on a call like this, we did not bring our titles. As the owner of the business, I did not come in as an owner. all of us are part of this mission. What did we intend to happen? What actually happened? What caused the difference? What can we learn? And it was a great review session. And that has helped us for the next couple of things we were planning to do. How do we do Zoom? How do we use Zoom as a platform to do sales, etc., etc.? So it helped us, the learnings from this helped us to work on the other projects. So this helps you to reinvent yourself. One of the first steps to reinvent yourself is mindset. The second step is asking questions, not coming up with answers, is asking questions. Questions will help you to review and then reinvent eventually. This is an interesting thing. Most of the leaders have a blind spot. I would like to ask this question to some of our participants. I'm sure most of you are leaders. You're leaders either at a family front or at a work front. You're leaders and managing a group of people in your team. Some of you are managing a department. What do you think is a leader's blind spot? Try to put it up in the chat and then like to see. Try to keep the answers crispy.
We encourage our participants to participate and engage themselves by answering the question, what's your blind spot as a leader? I think it's a tricky question, Sir Vishnu.
Know if all. Yeah, know it all, you mean?
Know it all. That's true. Some leaders feel like they know it all.
Yep. Yes, that's part of it. Yes.
Honest that's from
self-assessment.
And then Teresa says, honest self-assessment.
Yep. Know it all. Yeah. It's a combination of it. And I'm sharing this from my own experience. And again, it's my personal opinion. Inner biases, yes, to some extent, correct. Subjective, yes, Jenny, correct. So this is from my experience, and I had this blind spot myself, and it took some time for me to acknowledge it. That was the first step. I denied it all the time. Sometimes people gave me a very indirect feedback about my blind spot as a leader of my company. I did not care much about it. Sometimes people who were comfortable with me gave me this feedback directly to me, which I ignored and I tried to justify and etc., etc. But over a period of time, I acknowledged it and I made the necessary corrections, which helped me to reinvent myself and eventually the business. Leaders look everywhere except themselves. That's the leader's blind spot. From my opinion, they look for, they want everyone to change. They want their team members to switch on the video when they are doing the Zoom call, but they don't want to switch on the video. They want their team members to keep their microphone on all the time because there might be some questions and they want it, but they want to keep their microphone off. Leaders look at everywhere. They want to improve that at themselves. Leaders look everywhere except themselves. And today, this topic about reinventing yourself is a step to fix leaders' blind spot. And I'll talk more about this in the concept of mirrors and window, which is very apt for this. But this is from my personal opinion. Leaders look everywhere except themselves.
That's true.
4 questions for every leader. During this pandemic, who am I being? And actually, who do I want to be? And during this pandemic, where were we at the best? Where were we at our best? What did we anticipate well as a team or as a leader? What surprised us? What will we do differently going forward? I was telling this to my Philippines team yesterday. The first time, if I'm not mistaken, 15th of March,
Yes.
Mr. Howell, correct me if I'm
Yes, sir.
wrong, was
That's right.
the first time we went into this ECQ,
ECQ.
lockdown, different terms. At the time, we did not even understand what was lockdown, what was ECQ, and we were all trying to figure out. And then sometime in June, we were trying to go back to a bit normal, but still we had lots of restrictions and things like that. And that was the first time we experienced something like ECQ or MECQ or lockdown. And I was sharing with my team that as of today, this is our second time going into this MECQ. We are better second time. We have reinvented ourselves as a team in last 3 months. We figured out the mistakes that we did because we asked the tough questions. We did the AAR review and we asked the tough questions. We had to face the music. We had to ask our junior management team, what did we do right and what did we do wrong and what can we do better as we came out of this ECQ in the initial stages? What did we anticipate well? And what surprised us? And there were so many surprises for us along the way. And what will we do differently moving forward? And we have so many SOPs in place, which is going to further proof our business from any of this pandemic in the near future. So the question for all of us is, are we asking the right questions to ourselves? And that's really important. Questions are the answers. When it comes to reinventing yourself, questions are the answers. And when you're sitting down and start your meeting with answers or solutions, lead the meeting with questions. Lead yourself and then take the feedback in and make the necessary corrections. So these are the 4 key questions for every leader on the journey to reinvent themselves. Where were we at our best? What did we And this is one of my favorite part of this reinventing yourself. According to Google, the most is reflection. The most searched word in the world on Google search is reflection.
Wow.
I'm sure all of us reflected about ourselves, about our work, about our people, about our priorities in life during ECQ and MECQ in last 3 months. So I would like to invite our audience to share what was one of their realizations as a part of this reflection. If you can put it up in the chat, what is one of your realizations as a part of your reflection?
Okay, everyone, to our Zoom participants, please type in your answer at the chat box. And for our Facebook Live audience, especially to Ma'am Lizzie Sakurum Flores and all other live viewers, FB live viewers, please type in your reflections and realizations. So, sir, do you want me to read it for you or you can read it from your answer?
No, you can read it, Mr. Howell.
Jenny Rose, our jobs are temporary. Rowena Andrade, nothing is permanent in this world. It can change anytime. Fed Sabelio, we need to save. Aziel RV de la Paz, our purpose in life keeps us going. Venerable Delusong, anything can be taken away from us at any time. And Cromwell Maestrado, the point of realization is always anticipate ahead and be forward-looking. Wow.
Excellent.
Well-reflected lives.
Correct. Mr. Howell, what was your reflection and realization?
You know what, Sir Vishnu? I realized, and we're Facebook friends now, right?
Correct. Yes.
Last night before I went to sleep, I wrote a very long realization about life, and particularly the same people who say to the exhausted, desperate, and frustrated medical frontliners, "Don't give up. We support you," are the same people who says to the exhausted, desperate, and frustrated president, "Resign." So, what an irony. And that's my realization.
Yeah. It's my biggest realization, just looking at my personal life and looking at what's happening in this world with COVID-19. Like it COVID-19 has become the equalizer. It doesn't care whether you're rich. It doesn't care what's your family name. It doesn't care how much properties you have or what's your status in life. Recently in India, so the highest position in India is Prime Minister. Like for Philippines, you have President, right? The highest position is Prime Minister. The second highest position in the country level is Home Minister. Yeah, Home Minister is the second highest. After Prime Minister, it's Home Minister. Home Minister of India was tested positive for COVID. Brazil President was tested for COVID. And I'm like, the most famous and highly celebrated actor in India, Sir Amitabh Bachchan, tested from poor to rich.
That's right.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how much money you have. You can't stop it. And it made me think, what should be our priorities?
That's right.
What do you want? And it's always like we are chasing for titles, we are chasing for promotion, we are chasing for money, we are chasing for better lifestyle, we are chasing for better lifestyle for our family, etc., etc. And I realized, how come health was not in my top 3 until COVID-19 came. Oh, I need to have better immune system. And I see so many of my team members doing exercise, like in a 1 week, they have done more exercise in 1 week than the whole of 2019. I'm like, wow, how come health was not on my top 3?
That's right.
And now health is my top 1 and health is my top 2 also. So,
by the way, Sir Vishnu, can you read the reflection of our FB Live viewers?
Please.
Lizzie Zakuram Flores, Ma'am Lizzie, realization, everything happens for a reason. Charles Someldan, we should look at the bright side of things, just like you were saying.
Absolutely. But here's the question for all the viewers. The question is, do we wait for another pandemic to reflect? Or should reflection be part and parcel of our planning?
That's right.
And I realized some of the biggest companies on this planet go through reflection and go through 4 types of reflection every single year. And probably that's one of the reasons they're ahead of the curve, one of the reasons why they don't get impacted so much because of this. And I wanted to share these 4 types of reflection. Me and my group of companies, we follow 2 out of these 4, and the other 2 have been an interesting surprise for me. And I want to share these 4 types of reflection with everyone. And again, this should be part and parcel of our planning. It should not be because we have a challenge we need to reflect. Okay, let's go through the first one. It's mountaintop reflection. Mountaintop reflection. The key question for mountaintop reflection is, where am I headed?
Yes.
That's the question. What is my BHAG? BHAG stands for big, hairy, audacious goals. Personal and professional. Big, hairy, audacious goals. That's what BHAG stands for.
Okay.
So when you're doing this reflection, the question that we all need to ask is, where am I headed? What am I chasing? What is that 5, 10, 25 years goal, personally, professionally? You do this reflection, mountaintop reflection, once every year. We have all our business owners in my organization. We all have a retreat, and we do this once every year. The purpose of having a mountaintop reflection, and to have energy. That's the purpose of mountaintop reflection. Because when you're thinking long term, you're putting some meaningful goals. When you're thinking long term and when you put your BHAGs, who should you do this mountaintop reflection? You should do this with you and the people who are very front and at the work front. So just a summary, mountaintop reflection, you do this once every year.
Yes.
The key question is, where am I headed this quarter, this year, 3 to 5 years, 10, 25 years from now? Who should I do this with? I should do this with me and some of the people I'm very close to. The purpose of mountaintop reflection is energy and having a meaning for the work that I'm doing on a day-to-day basis. And this relies on courage to tell the truth. Mountaintop reflection relies on the courage to tell the truth. That's why you bring only the close people.
That's right.
You don't want to tell everyone.
Mm.
Yeah. Maybe in 25 years from now, I don't want to do this anymore. Of course, you don't want to say that to your executives. In 25 years from now, I want to start my own charity. So it relies on introspection and courage to tell the truth. Mountaintop reflection, once every year. The second one, my favorite, leadership reflection. I'm a bit nervous to do this reflection, but I understand the importance of it. Check reflection. We need to do this reflection twice every year. The question for leadership health check reflection, the question is, how am I doing as a leader? That's the question. How am I doing as a leader?
That's right.
This question, you should have your mentors. If you're a big company, your stakeholders. These are the people who are involved in this reflection. What's the purpose of a leadership health check reflection? The purpose is to enhance the leader's performance. To enhance the leader's performance. Sometimes we are so busy as leaders giving feedback about other people's performance, doing the 6 monthly assessments, etc., etc. The question is, who is giving us the feedback?
That's right.
So the success of leadership health check reflection relies on perspectives of others and courage to hear the feedback by the leader. The courage to hear the feedback about the leader. By end of this year, in December I want to sit down with my head of departments, and I want to ask them. We went through waves, and in Malaysia, one wave. How did I do as a leader? And I want to invite an open discussion about this. We will not take any minutes of this meeting. This is an open discussion because I want to serve you guys better in 2021 than what I have done in 2020. So I need an honest feedback. That means maybe I should give them a bottle of beer first, and then so they might just relax and start talking, or a glass of wine. But I like this. I have never done this. The feedback came ad hoc, Vishnu, just to let you know. I heard this. One of our team members were asking this. Like, it was always ad hoc. And even when it came ad hoc, I used to justify it. But in a session like this, I think I'll be more open to suggestions, more open to feedback. I want to ask the audience, what is their opinion about leadership health check reflection? Because remember, it takes courage to hear feedback about you from your people. So I want to see how many of you would be open to this. Put up your answers. If you're open to this leadership health check reflection by your people, say yes. Or if you're not sure, put a question.
Okay, so it's either yes or a question mark, depending on your answer. How open are you with this question number 2 or reflection number 2 on leadership health? Check reflection. Australia says yes. Helenisa, yes. Venerable, yes. Rick, yes. Karen, yes. Jenny, yes. Feb or Phoebe, yes. Hazel, yes. So 100% of those who answered yes. Myra says yes.
The beauty of this, right, Sir Howell, is this. It doesn't matter what people say and give feedback. That's secondary. The mere fact that you are even asking the people, how am I doing as a leader, cements the trust that you always wanted from your team.
That's right.
And just having that session itself increases the trust among the leader and their respective team members. So I am strongly encouraging this. I want to do it in December. I will have the courage to take the feedback. I don't want to justify. I don't want to put down people. Oh, but I did this. I want to take it in.
That's right.
And then I want to see what changes I need to make, because I want to reinvent myself to be stronger myself for 2021, to lead my team in a better direction. So that's leadership health check reflection. How am I doing as a leader? Third one, scanning the horizon reflection. You generally do this once every quarter. Once every quarter. It's a discipline. In my businesses and the chain of businesses that I work with, this is important. Every 3 months, we do this. We generally divide the year into 4 quarters. Each quarter is 3 months. And we do this beginning of each quarter. We set priorities for the quarter. The key question is, what's going on outside our company and our industry? The key question during this reflection is, what's going on outside our company? That can be about competitors, that can be about similar businesses performing really well in other countries, and what's going on outside our industry. Not just our industry, what's going on outside our industry. Who should be part of this? You should have your key team members. And if you're a big company, you should have your board members and wide range of head of departments. The purpose of this reflection, the next quarter priorities. Reflection. When you have priority and your department has clarity, and once your department and you have clarity, you will achieve that year's goals. So next quarter's priorities. This observation and learning from previous quarters' mistakes and success. So both from failures and success from previous quarters, you learn from it. That helps you to set this quarter's priorities, which help you to hit that year's goals. You get your key people involved in this one, like your team members and board of directors. And the key question for this reflection is what's going on outside our company, outside our industry. So scanning the horizon, reflection. So all smart companies do this. All the tech companies do this. All the SMEs do this. It's from Rockefeller Habits. It's from US. So it's called, there's a book called Scaling Up. Scaling Up. Okay, it's a great book. There are lots of videos on it. You can see Scaling Up. The latest version is called Scaling Up. The version before that is called Mastering the Rockefeller Habits. And you can see it on YouTube. Great book. And it all talks about how do you scale your business to the next level. And there they talk about how do you set priorities. What's the difference between a priority and a goal? There's a difference. There's a priority. There's a goal. How do you set the theme for the quarter? It's brilliant. Scaling Up. So if you have a chance, please go through that. Yeah. The fourth one, emergency reflection.
That's very timely.
Emergency reflection. How often you should do this? As needed. Whenever there is an emergency, you got to do it. Yeah. Emergency can be external. Emergency can be internal. Yeah. So how often? As needed. Yeah. The key question is, why did we get the results we got? That's the question for this reflection. Why did we get the results we got? We were expecting this, and the results are here. Why? What happened? Who is involved? The entire team, the whole department is answering this question. Why did we get the results we got? The purpose of emergency reflection is to have the resilience and better understanding of success and setbacks. The purpose of this emergency reflection is to build the resilience and better understand success and the setbacks. The success of emergency reflection relies on skill with challenging conversations. You might have to have some tough conversations and skillfully not focus on the results, not on the person. Focus, stay on the results.
Yeah.
Don't bash the person.
That's true.
Skillfully maneuver yourself around those challenging conversations and the courage to be candid. You got to tell what's wrong very clearly, and you got to be very candid. And it takes courage to be candid. Yeah. So emergency reflection as you need it. Why did we get the results we got? Everyone in your team participates on this. The purpose is resilience and better understanding of the success and the setbacks you have experienced. And it relies on skill with challenging conversations, courage to be candid. Quick summary that I have put for all of you.
Yes.
Top once a year. Where am I headed? You and the people who are close to you. Purpose is to have energy for the rest of the year and to have meaning to the work. It relies on introspection and the current leadership health check twice a year. How am I doing as a leader? enhanced performance, perspective of others, courage to hear feedback. So looking back, is that the reflection as you needed? Why did we get the results we got? Get your team together, resilience, and better understanding of success and setbacks so that you know what to do and you know what not to do.
Mm-hmm.
And this relies on skillfully and scanning the horizon reflection once every quarter. A quarter is for 3 months. What's going on outside our company and our industry, your team, and a broad range of other people, grasping signals of change, observing and synthesizing, courage to learn something new. So here's my question to all the participants, Facebook, YouTube, and people on Zoom, LinkedIn. Here's the question. Which out of these 4 reflections you think there is a need for you to do immediately this week? If you need to do one reflection immediately, out of these, would that be? Can you put it up in the chat box? I'm just curious.
Okay, Sir Vishnu, you were breaking up a while back. Can you repeat
Sorry.
the question for our participants?
Of reflection.
Hello, sir.
Hi, can you hear me?
I can hear you now, sir.
Is
Hello?
this better? Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, sir. So what particular question are you asking our participants?
The question that I have is, out of these 4 kinds of reflection we spoke today, which one you think you need to immediately reflect on? Out of these 4, which one that would be?
Yeah. And now we have Jenny Rose Lauren, looking back type of reflection. Teresa Villegas, scanning the horizon reflection. RP Brillante, scanning the horizon. Venerable de Lusong, scanning the horizon. Feby Sabello, looking back. Estrella Realina, looking back. And Pasita Guinness, looking back. And Myra Hermino, scanning the horizon.
Yeah. I just want to, again, different people are in different situations.
Okay.
And I think just let's not wait for one more pandemic to reflect. Let's make this part of our planning. Do the appropriate one. Do the one once every year. Do the one once every 6 months. All of this happen. All of this helps in the next conversations we're going to be having, which is reinventing yourself and followed by reinventing your business. We will touch base a bit more like the mechanics of this reflection, which can help us to help our people to reinvent themselves and help also our business to reinvent itself. Okay. Oh, this is a very simple story, and the story connects to the point of windows and mirror. It's the story of a rabbi, and this story is said by Paulo Coelho. And the story goes like this. So there was this young, rich gentleman who comes up to a rabbi and asks a question, a very simple question: what should I do with my life? And then the rabbi asks, what do you do currently? I manage 500 merchants, Some of them are gold merchants, some of them are diamond merchants, some of them are, selling day-to-day things, some of them are roughly 500 merchants, and I'm the head of that business. So they buy things from me and they go and sell. They send the profit to me. I give their share. I keep my share. So his question to the rabbi is, what should I do with my life? And the rabbi takes him to the window and asks the young, rich gentleman, what do you see through this window? And then the young man says, I see down there, people are selling vegetables, people are going into a church, and some people are just with their family members in the park and having a good time, etc., etc. And then the rabbi asks him to come to the mirror and asks the young guy, "What do you see now?" And then the young guy is like, "It's a mirror, so I see myself." And then Rabbi says, if you know when to see through a window, and if you know when to see through a mirror, then you will be happy and the people around you would be happy. If you are doing really well as a leader, as a business owner, if you are doing really well, learn to look through the window and identify people who are helping you to do well, and start giving the due recognition to those people. There's a very interesting statement. I don't know how true this is, but I read this very long time in a book. There are roughly 1 billion people every night go to bed starving. And the next statement really made me like, what? So there are 1 billion people who go to bed every night starving, and there are roughly 3 billion people go to bed starving for the due recognition that they have to be given, or they had to be given. So the rabbi explains, when you are doing really well, you got to see through this window. Identify the coaches, the mentors, your team who have helped you to become successful, who is helping you to become who you are today. And you have you're not doing well, you got to come to the mirror and even though windows and mirror are made up of, can you guys hear me?
We can hear you now, sir.
This line okay?
The line it was a bit breaking up a while back, but now it's stable.
It's okay. Okay. So you guys got to keep looking at the window and
that's right.
And ask the tough questions to the person in the mirror when you're not doing well. Even though
we lost you again, Sir Vishnu.
Because this is my 16th year working. And I have worked, my first job was in McDonald's, where I was making burgers. I was washing dishes in a restaurant. And my third job was vacuuming cinema theaters. And then I went on to do sales door to door and started my own company. And I worked with people in Australia, Philippines, Malaysia, and now we are opening up India. And what I realized is there are two types of leaders. There are leaders who are, I call them as mirror first leaders. When things go wrong, they look at the window. For example, let's talk about sales. The sales are not up to the standards. They start looking at the window and they say, sir, the reason sales are not up to the standards is because in my territory, no one wants to buy. In my territory, everyone bought already. In my territory, people are not qualified. Actually, no one has heard of our product. No one has heard of our client at all. When things go wrong, they keep looking at the window to blame someone. They keep looking at the window to find fault with someone out there. They want to play the blame game. But when things go right, they look at the mirror. Hey, today you did great sales. What happened? Oh, I worked so hard today. I worked so hard today that my sweat has become salt. You see my black shirt? You see the white lines? That's not design. So Howell, that's not design. That's my sweat.
Salt. Yeah.
It has become, that's how hard I worked today. I went out there, I turned every objection that I faced, and I converted that negative customer. So hard today. So when things go right, keep looking at the mirror. When things go wrong, they keep looking at the window. I call them as mirror first leaders, just a name that I gave myself. These kind want to be the smartest person in the room. Mirror first leaders want to be the smartest person in the room. They are very sarcastic. They want to keep the credit all the time. They're credit stingy. Very fixed mindset. And leaders like this, it's really hard for them to reinvent themselves because the problem is always outside the window. They are never the problem. And it's very hard to work with people like this. And it's very hard to reinvent people like this. Then the next ones, the windows first leaders. Things go wrong, they look at the mirror. What can we do? What can we improve? How do we bounce back? What's the strategy? They ask for help. Give the due credit to the people who made it happen. They accept the responsibility for their success, but also give the credit of their success to the people who were instrumental in their success. They don't want to be the smartest person in the room. They are on a mission to develop people in the room. They're on a mission to educate people. They're on a mission to upskill people, upgrade people. They don't want to be the smartest person in the room. They are growth-oriented people.
That's right.
And these are the people who can really reinvent themselves to the next level. So a question that I want all of us to ask, not necessarily answer, but ask is, am I a mirror first leader or am I a windows first leader? This is the question where you reflect back and answer and face that answer. And if you really want to have an opportunity to reinvent yourself, you've got to be a windows first leader. That would be my strong advice. The final notes. Great leaders take accountability for failures and success. They take accountability for failures. They'll be the first one to raise hand and say, hey, I messed it up. Hey, I'm sorry. Hey, this is a mistake I have made. This is a wrong decision I have taken. They take accountability. Not in private, publicly. They go to the team and say, hey guys, I'm really sorry. I made a wrong decision. This is the decision I made. I should have put a bit more thought process to it. I'm sorry. And when the leader is accountable, so the team is also. And you create the culture of accountability. So leaders take accountability for failure. Afraid to be human. In some sections of our society, there is a myth that a leader needs to be the strongest person. A leader, all the answers. Not really. As leaders, you are also allowed to be human. And don't be afraid to be human, which shows your team members that you're not someone from other planet, you're also human. Some people are like, I don't want to cry in front of my team members. I always want to be this tough leader in front of my team members. There's nothing wrong. I was watching a movie. I remember this. I was watching a movie with my team, and I was crying like a baby. This was watching a movie. There was a promotion in the company. We had a long-term service award for one of our employees, and she's been with us for 13 years. And when she gave the speech, I was in tears. And people were like, "Oh, Vish, are you okay? Are you okay?" I'm like, I'm just being human. That speech touched me. There was a promotion that I had as an organization head a couple of years ago, and it was in front of 1,000 people, and I was crying on the stage like a baby because there were so many emotions there, and it's very like, you don't want to show that you're the tough leader, you cannot cry. No, great leaders are not afraid to be human. And third one, great leaders are strong enough to be vulnerable. I'll give you an example for this. My team was working in Makati 3 weeks ago, and we had an event in Glorieta, and the biggest campaigns, charity campaigns in Philippines, and we were working in Glorieta. So the team took Airbnb place to rent it out. The Airbnb people asked us, you need to have the medical certificate that you're COVID negative, etc., etc. So gave the COVID orientation. We call it as COVID-19 preparedness. They went through all procedures, everything, submitted all the documents. And after 3 days, one of my team members called me and she said, "Vish, I just want to let you know, is tested positive for COVID-19. I was like, shit. I was like, I don't know what, I was like, I called her and I said, Raf, to be honest, I don't know what to say. So can you give me 30 minutes and I will organize something now? And I called my general manager and we made arrangements so that they can go to other building, transfer all. But at that moment, I did not have an answer because it's the first time that someone told me that they're in the building where there is a positive case. You have to be strong enough to be vulnerable. It's okay to be vulnerable. And it's okay to let your people know, hey, I don't have answers. The questions you're asking me are good questions. I myself don't have the answers. But if you can give me some time, I can find the answers and I can get back to you. Instead of trying to fake it, instead of trying to talk something even you don't understand and your team don't understand, great leaders are strong enough to be vulnerable. They will tell when they don't know something. And it's okay. They're not afraid to be human. They take accountability for the failures and success. And I hope these 3 points resonate with people on this call.
They do.
Yeah. So again, just quick summary. We spoke about mindset. We spoke about after action review. We spoke about 4 types of reflection. We spoke about windows and mirror. We spoke about great leaders. If you want to get in touch with me, those are my social media handles. And all I can say on behalf of everyone on my team, thank you very much for Ariva for giving me this opportunity to share some of my thoughts. Thank you to Ms. Irish. Thank you to Mr. Howell. And thank you to all the participants. Thank you very much.
And thank you so much, Sir Vishnu, for sharing with us not only your calm energy, but also your heartfelt information and inspirational message, information that has helped us want to be better leaders. With that, everybody, big hand. Palakpakan natin. Big hand for Sir Vishnu. Sir Vishnu, at this point, before we go to for a 3-minute break, may we request you to reset your modem during the break?
Sure.
Because you were
I will.
A while back, and we don't want to miss anything that you want to tell us, because everything you mentioned was golden. Okay,
Great.
so thanks, Sir Vishnu. And for our
Thank
participants right now, we will be observing a 3-minute break. You may want to visit your bathroom, or we call it restroom, or CR, or you might want to fix yourself a cup of coffee. And when we return, we'll be asking Sir Vishnu virtually, face-to-face, your questions. With that, I'm sure we're all blessed. Don't you go away. We'll be right back, we promise.